Hello coffee farmers. Welcome back to Githua's Coffee Farm. Today we shall be looking at the breaking news that are surfacing all over in Kenya, and we are here to explain about the William Ruto, the president of Kenya, has signed the Coffee Act into law, and the coffee will no longer be regulated under the Agriculture and Food Authority. Therefore, coffee matters will now be handled by the Coffee Board of Kenya, and coffee now has its own body again, meaning that the government wants to give more focus to coffee farmers. So the common question that is being asked, why has the government changed the law? So the first thing why the government has changed the law is because farmers have been struggling with low earnings and also delayed payments, and still the farmers have really suffered the mismanagement in the cooperatives. There are a lot of middlemen, too many middlemen, so declining coffee production. So the new law is meant to revive the coffee sector in Kenya. So the biggest change that has been brought about is that coffee gets its own regulatory, and coffee was when it was under AFA, which also manages tea, sugar, and many crops. Now you'll be having a body that is now dealing with coffee. So coffee will be managed by Coffee Board of Kenya only. So meaning that more attention to coffee farmers' issues will be looked at. So better policies specifically for coffee. So the possibility of better prices for farmers will also be looked into. So the law wants to improve how coffee is sold through the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. So there will be more transparency in coffee sales, and there will be fewer middlemen. Still, it's good to know that buyers will be competing for Kenyan coffee. Therefore, that will also lead to good pay for our coffee. So if this law works well, farmers would earn more from their coffee. So this body or this law also will help in stronger monitoring of cooperatives and factories. So many farmers complain about cooperatives, and the new law aims to ensure factories are transparent, millers do not exploit farmers' payments, and the payment will reach farmers properly. So this could reduce corruption and also improve accountability. So the law still will help support programs for farmers. Therefore, the government plans to support farmers through buying or bringing up better seedlings, and also doing farm training, coffee rehabilitation programs, and also the extension services will also be considered through this law. So young farmers and those who are willing to join coffee farming will also be able to benefit from this law. Therefore, coffee farmers, at least you should know that laws take time to implement. Therefore, it's good to take time and also think about the law that will be coming to be. Therefore, farmers may not see immediate change this season, but this law is meant to strengthen the coffee industry long term. So, do you think this law will help you who is watching? So, how are the cooperatives as we speak? Are they transparent? As we continue knowing more about the Coffee Act 2023 that has been signed by the President of Kenya, it's good to know the functions of the Coffee Board of Kenya. And it's good to know it's the principal regulatory body for the Kenyan coffee industry. And it is responsible for promoting, regulating, and also developing the sector. So its key functions include licensing industry players. And who are these industries players? We talk of the millers, the marketers, the exporters. So it will enforce quality standards and promote Kenyan coffee globally and facilitate sector research. So the key functions of the Coffee Board of Kenya is regulation and licensing. So it registers and licenses coffee growers, the pulping stations, the millers, marketing agents, the exporters, and also the warehousemen to ensure adherence to standards. The other functions of the Coffee Board of Kenya is promotion and marketing. It will be responsible for promotion and also marketing of the coffee. Therefore, it promotes Kenyan coffee in local and international markets, including managing the Kenya Coffee Mark of Origin. So, the other function that it will be responsible for is quality assurance, whereby it develops industry standards and codes of practice, often in collaboration with the Kenya Bureau of Standards, that is KEBS. It will also have a research and development, or that is another key function. This is where it will coordinate research on coffee production, the diseases, and also the technologies that are coming up, including overseeing the new Coffee Research and Training Institute. The Coffee Board of Kenya, still under the 2023 Coffee Act, it will also work as a capacity building. So it will be able to advise and support farmers on best practices, technology adoption, and value addition. It will also do data collection and policy. It will collect data, maintain a industry database, and also monitor the sector to advise the government on policy. The other key function of the Coffee Board of Kenya is arbitration and representation. It will resolve disputes within the coffee industry and represent the government in international forums and agreements. Therefore, it's good for us to know more about the Coffee Board of Kenya, which is now the principal regulatory body for the Kenyan coffee industry under the Coffee Act of 2023. So those are some of the key functions of the Coffee Board of Kenya. So I'll also answer the question, which is also commonly asked, about the requirements to export coffee from Kenya. So you must register a company and also be able to obtain a coffee dealer or maybe exporter license from the Coffee Board of Kenya, and you'll secure a 1 million performance bond and register with Ken Trade. So the key licensing and compliance requirements is that you're supposed to have a company registration, whereby you have a certificate of incorporation and memorandum and article of association. Another key license and compliance requirement is AFA Coffee Directorate license, whereby a dealer or you as an exporter, you're supposed to be having an exporter license, which requires a minimum paid up share of 300,000 Kenyan shillings. So you're supposed to be having a performance bond, a valid performance bond of 1 million in favor of the AFA Coffee Directorate. So You're supposed to have a tax and business permit, whereby tax compliance certificate from the Kenya Revenue Authority, and a local authority business permit. So you are still supposed to have a NEMA certification, environmental compliance certificate. Therefore, coffee farmers, the era of ignorance is over. The Coffee Act 2023 gives us a voice, a structure, and a chance to earn what our coffee truly deserves. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue making coffee growing, real and profitable for every farmer.